Hello and welcome to another episode of the Digital Quill Podcast with your host Mars Wilson. Today we are on episode 23 of the Digital Quill Podcast, and I kind of sort of prepared today. I had spent the last, half an hour preparing, and I need to sit down every goddamn Sunday and be like, all right, what am I going to do on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and then Sunday and repeat again. Hello. How are you? Yes, that is not a negotiable question. If you can comment, if you can reply to comments, do so. We spend so much of our time online that not being in comments or not leaving at least a comment kind of feels weird. I've started the habit where I've started having conversations in comment sections on other people's videos on TikTok, and I'm like, this is good. This is fine. I feel weird for doing this, but it helps their engagement, and it also helps me not feel alone and sad because I'm interacting with people. It's complicated. Comment. How are you? Tell us how you are today. What are you up to? And if doing nothing and bed rotting is the answer, that's okay, because I would very much like to do that. And I keep trying to do that. I keep trying to plan a day where I bed rot, and then my brain and body are like, no, I must move. And I don't understand it, because I'm overwhelmed, very overwhelmed, and I don't get it. I don't get why I can't just do nothing. There was a point where I literally did do absolutely nothing. I don't know why I can't achieve that, even in a small sphere again. Give me bed rot, or give me death. So what did I prepare today? What did I prepare for episode 23 of the Digital Quill Podcast with the Digital Quill family? That is you listening to this. If you haven't answered how you are or what you're up to, or your favorite color or favorite dinosaur or something, if you haven't said something in the comments right now, I'm going to be silent until you do. Sorry, I had to drink some coffee. Still waking up, and I actually feel the bean juice fueling me. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm burnt out. Maybe I've been drinking too much caffeine. I will never know, because it could be everything, and it could be nothing. Episode 23 of the Digital Quill Podcast today is going to be a miniature recap, because I decided that in my note-taking for episode 23, sometimes in order to remember what episode I'm on, I write it a handful of different times in the margins on my notes, because I'm like, I can't forget the number. If I forget the number, I'm stupid. I mean, I kind of already am, but I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to be like, oh, hey, this is my podcast. I'm on episode 16 when really I'm on episode 18. No, thank you. No, I don't want to do that. That is the one thing I do not want to do. So 23 episodes in, and I think I've done a pretty decent job of staying on track. If you saw the TikTok video earlier, I'm sorry. If you saw all of them earlier, I'm sorry. Speaking of TikTok, side tangent, I am still trying out that weird subscription service thingy, because apparently if you have a certain number of followers, even if they are 90% bots, or no longer active, then, you can qualify for strange social media things to further your content creator career. And for less than $5, you can subscribe to that, I guess. I have 1 subscriber currently, and I have been making subscriber-only videos, mostly to clear out my drafts, because apparently having drafts on your TikTok app on your phone gives you less storage space. Yeah, that was a side tangent, sorry. But anyway, I need a counter. How many times do I say that in every episode? How many times have I said that in my lifetime? But anyway. Where's my vocal coach when I need one? Please subscribe, or don't, or tell people about it, because I'm trying to understand social media more and also quit my day job so I can focus on my writing career, which is the thing I've been wanting for all 26 years, yeah, sure, 20 years at least of my life. Trying to do the thing here, and I can't do it alone. I have to get rid of my imposter syndrome and advertise myself as a creator of content, and this is uncomfortable territory for me. Eventually it won't be, and eventually I'll stop thinking about the fact that it's uncomfortable, but until then, please help. Subscribe, comment, like, share, follow. Tell people, don't tell people, honestly, simply exist. And yeah, really, at the end of the day, that's kind of all I want, because money is arbitrary, societal rules are arbitrary, life is fucking arbitrary. The only thing that's not arbitrary is just simply existing, breathing in and breathing out, and eating food, and that's it, I guess. The Digital Quill recap. What even is a recap? Well, sometimes I do post recaps when I was writing blogs multiple times a week. After like 2 or 3 months, I would like compile a summary of each blog, because some of my posts get paywalled after like 72 weeks or something like that. I was like, well, it's time to recap just so people know what they're not missing, because yay. You're not missing anything. But at the same time, you kind of are. Because 72 weeks of posts, blah, paywall. As I said, please help support if you can. I try to make it affordable and accessible, because affordability and accessibility, being a broke person myself, I understand all too well. And as I said in this episode already, and multiple episodes, and in other blogs, and on social media posts, fuck money. It is the root of all goddamn evil. I understand why we need it. I get that. But the people who hoard it, fuck them. The people who don't use it to actually fuel the economy, fuck them. Money, dumb, but needed. Especially now. Especially because I'm trying to move the fuck out of Arizona. Somehow, on my own, with no help whatsoever. You know, maybe living under that bridge I was talking about in my TikTok video might actually not be such a bad thing. As I said, I am so close to making rash fucking decisions, because I am so sick of 110-degree weather, noisy-ass cities, and living with someone that I don't want to be living with. Yay! Life! But we are out here trying our damnedest, and I think we're having a decent enough time trying our damnedest. There was a point where there was no decentness about this whatsoever. It's really weird to look back and reflect on that. And speaking of reflecting and recapping, I'm stalling. In the very first episode, on my notes here, I have EP1-LOL What Even. I was listening to myself, and it was kind of hard because I was also distracting myself being on my phone, which is something I can't seem to stop doing right now, which is probably adding to my overwhelmed feeling. I miss it when it was broken. Can I just throw it into the ravine for a little bit and then claim insurance again? I can't do that now because I said it out loud, publicly, but But the thought is nice, and the thought is there. What if I leave it, in air quotes, at a friend's house? Oh no, I left my phone at a friend's house, and oh look at that, they're going out of town for the next 3 weeks. I can't go grab my phone because they're out of town. That sounds way too specific, and I think I know how to make this happen now. In episode 1, I was listening to myself, and the very first note I put on here besides the Digital Quill recap in episode 23 was LOL what even, because I was listening to myself and I'm like, you don't sound like you want to do this episode. Are you okay? I mean, I was amused, but not amused enough to pull my eyes from my phone. But in the episode, I did mention that I was a jack of all trades, that my niche is being a jack of all trades, master of none or a few. Why is that important? Why does my jack of all trades niche matter? Because I have been told a lot to follow one thing. Do one thing. Either be my writing or my food blog or my entertainment blog, music, like, you know, whatever, gaming. And I will die on this hill. I will. I don't care. But I can't do one thing. I can't just choose my food blog or my entertainment blog or my creative writing or poetry or community building, or I can't choose one thing. I've never chosen one thing in my life. All of my life, my entire life, ever since I was a child, I have done multiple things. Writing has been like the primary thing, like the main thing, like the thing that's branched off of everything else. Because, you know, you have the seed, you plant it in the ground, and it turns into a giant tree with all of these roots and branches and leaves and branches that branch out and branch to other branches. So, and spiderweb type shit. But yes, I've tried to narrow my focus. I've tried to narrow my niche, and I have failed. And I have decided that I'm tired of failing at narrowing my focus. Why don't I just get really fucking good, pardon my French, at being a jack of all trades? In every Sims game I have ever created, when you get to the character creation, I do make characters that are not myself. I do actually make a handful of those. And I make one character, at least, that is myself. So I can play as a Sim in the way that I'd like to. Live as a human. And, when you choose the career thing or the aspiration or whatever, I always chose Renaissance Sim, and that's like for myself. The other characters I created choose something else, but like most of the time for myself, if not all the time, Renaissance Sim. Why? Because true to my life and true to video gaming, I can't do one thing. In fucking The Sims, I had so many different careers, and at one point I just ended up with money, and I decided to just pursue hobbies. And no, I didn't use that money cheat where you like do the command and you input like simoleons for like 5,000 or some shit like that. Yeah, I didn't do that. I did end up doing that at some point when I decided that I should just give myself the ability to have fun in the game instead of work for the fun. Like, go to work for the fun. And also, I only had one character in a couple of the games because I stopped making other... Sorry, side tangent. I don't need to explain to you how I play The Sims. I haven't touched that game in too long. Jack of all trades. Episode 1 kind of, like, highlighted that part. And I also talked about paywalling and money shit for my Substack stuff. Episode 7 was about gaming. Episode 11 was wellness and social media, and also I mentioned somewhere in there about square breathing. I actually tried to listen to a handful of the episodes before doing this and doing the recap, and I didn't do it exactly the way I wanted to for this episode, but it's like, let's see, 10:14 as I'm recording this. I started around 10, so I couldn't waste my day. I have things to do and take care of and people to see, so, you get what you get today, and I get what I get today. And that's this lackadaisical recap of prior episodes. Also trying to see how many times I can say the Digital Quill Podcast in one episode, because apparently it might actually help my search engine optimization. Which apparently is very, very, very important when it comes to the internet. I have had a total of 3 guest episodes, 2 of which were repeats of the same human. Pretty cool, I would say. The last episode with that guest was actually a fun game of Would You Rather. I know on my Twitter X I had mentioned starting a series. Well, we didn't really prepare enough for that. Go figure, because when do I ever prepare enough for anything? And, it is a series that will happen, along with other series that I will be starting, probably either with co-host guest peoples or myself, but hopefully with other co-host guest creature people things. On June 11th, that's this Friday, I believe. June 6th, this Friday, I will be having my next guest episode. On June 11th, which is next Wednesday, I will be having another guest episode. This one I'm excited for. I mean, I'm excited for both of them. I'm excited for all my guest episodes, but it's different types of excitement. The episode that I'll be having on Friday, the 6th, is one I wanted to have in person. One I wanted to do traveling and collaborate with a different podcast on. But that is not going to happen for the foreseeable future, because traveling is expensive. And if I do travel, I'm probably not coming back to Arizona. I can't do that. I can't come back here. But also, there's just a lot of other things. So, I'm excited for this one. It'll be interesting. It'll be an episode I wanted to do. I really like the message and the story of the guest that's coming on Friday. So, be prepared for that one. It will go out same day of recording, probably closer to the afternoon or evening hours. Same thing with the guest episode next Wednesday, except this one. Both of these guests have had a lot of prior experience with podcasts and being on podcasts as a guest, and I'm excited to see how they handle themselves, because I, quite frankly, have no idea what the hell I'm doing, if that's not obvious by now. And if it's not obvious by now, then this is your very loud message. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just doing things and hoping for the best. That is all. In 22 episodes, we have covered a range of topics, from the guests I've had, 2 guests I've had, to the health and wellness, to social media, to gaming and reading and book writing and content creating. We've talked about personal stories and depression and mental health and all sorts of things. The human condition, duality, polarity. I've taught you guys possibly, maybe a little bit of different square breathing and breathing techniques, which we will need to cover in its entirety eventually. Breathwork, the episode. In 22 episodes, I have proven to myself that yes, I can stay on topic in some areas. Most of the time I won't. Most of the time it'll be tangents in the form of ramblings and thinking out loud in ways that I definitely think I should be keeping 90% of my brain thoughts to myself. However, I've had comments and messages from people saying that they've enjoyed my brain thoughts, even the wild ones, which is strange, and I'd like some of you to go get checked out by some professionals, get like 5 to 10 personal experience opinions from other people, because if you like my brain thoughts, I'm concerned, either for myself or for you. I haven't decided yet, or both. I'm concerned for both of us. But at the same time, having brain thoughts is what makes us human. And we all process and experience things in different ways. Perspective, at the end of the day, is everything. One of the series that I want to cover is actually an interesting little book I have. It's called Mayflower to the Moon. That might actually be something we end up starting very, very, very soon. There are better words than very. That is a series we will be starting soon. Sooner than you can say supercalifragilistic. Yeah. Sooner than you can say that. Supercalifragilistic something. In 22 episodes, now 23 once I publish this one, I hope that I've been able to teach you, inspire you, motivate you, and hopefully, at the very least, if not the only thing, entertain you. Letting me give you my time is incredible, because truthfully, on my worst days, I don't think my time matters in the least. I think I am a problem, and that may not always be the reality. %90 of the time it might be the reality. But the 10% part when I'm not a problem is kind of nice. Time is a valuable resource. It is something we all worry about in one way or another. Some of us try to forget it exists at all. Some of us say constantly, "What is time?" I have no idea. And that's one of the reasons why I developed that time motto a couple of years ago at this point. I don't even know how long I've had it. I need to start using it more, because it is actually, the more I use it, the more it increases in importance to me. It took me a long time to figure out what giving you my time meant for me in return, because at one point I had to realize that sometimes you have to do things for yourself. Sometimes you have to set boundaries, say no, and tell people, I'm doing my own thing. It was nice to hear from you. Sometimes you have to stop sacrificing yourself and being selfless and start being a little selfish. I have experience in that, and different topics for different days, but I had a friend one time actually ask me when I had used that motto, let me give you my time, teach, inspire, motivate, entertain. And they were like, you keep saying that. You keep saying, like, let me give you my. Well, what are you getting out of it, Mars? What are you getting out of giving your time to everybody? What are you getting out of teaching, inspiring, motivating, or entertaining other people? And I'm like, well, I'm getting the ability to give that. Like, I don't know. Am I supposed to get something from this? And they kind of proposed that question for myself. Like, what am I doing for me? And I like want to use my story to help other people not go through things that I've gone through. I want to make people smile and not feel so fucking alone. And like, I want to do these things for other people, but they brought up a good question. What am I doing for me? And I have always kind of struggled with doing things for me, focusing on what I need to do for me. I mean, it's taken me how long in my life? For those of you who actually like know me, it's taken me how long to do things? To actually start doing the things I said I would do for me? Like, life is weird. But on we trek. So I did start thinking of that. I started thinking about, well, what is giving my time in exchange for teaching, inspiring, motivating, and entertaining people do? And I was like, oh, okay, well, giving my time allows me the ability to travel. It allows me the ability to investigate. I like investigating things. I like experiencing things. I like learning. I like doing things. It gives me the ability to meet people and make things with other people. I have guest episodes now. This is something 2 to 5 years ago I would have never dreamt about. I mean, a part of me did dream about it because I wanted to, but like, I didn't dream that it was an actual possibility. But it is, and it's here. I get to meet and make things with other people. By giving my time, I can explore, experience. I grew up not in a good place. I was conceived in not a good place. I barely just recently in the last 5 years left that not good place. I have finally started to see myself in a thriving position instead of in just survival mode all the time. And let me tell you something about survival mode on a side tangent. You are not who you are when you are in survival mode. You are not the person you are meant to be in survival mode because you are what I like to call deer in headlight syndrome, wounded animal syndrome. When you have been hurt, when you have been traumatized, when you have been put in a position that is surviving only, you have to essentially, and this is layman's terming it, but you have to essentially be a different person. Your nervous system, your brain, your body, they go through so much in survival mode. And I can't 100% guarantee that I am 100% out of survival mode. There's still some skin I need to shed. But I recognize a few different areas in which I was down in the depth of survival mode. Creating the motto of giving you my time, and then learning how to give myself my time through that motto, through teaching, inspiring, motivating, entertaining, I was kind of floored. I was like, oh yeah, technically what I want out of time, or what I get out of time, is not much different from what I give with my time. If you don't know me, I don't want to just come out here and say I'm not a hater because, like, I don't know. Maybe other people have different perspectives of me. But I can tell you that there is not a moment in my life where I feel, especially the last few years, especially since at least 2020, maybe even earlier than that, there hasn't really been a moment in my life where I look at other people's successes and hate them for it or feel envious. Does it make me feel bad sometimes? Yes, but not because they're living their best life, but because I look at myself and I realize I could be making different choices. And sometimes I could be making those choices right now. Like not drinking this caffeine, my second cup of coffee. But really, at the end of the day, that's just my own personal bias, my own projection, which is why I'm literally losing my train of thought, so I'd have no idea how I'm wording this or how it sounds. I started to learn how to live vicariously through other people, especially when you go through the traumas that I've been through. When you don't have the family that other people have. When you don't have the friend groups or the experiences. It could be really easy for me to just be a hater and hate people for that. But that would be defeating the point of the human condition, the reason for being alive and being human, which I fully feel like is to experience. The reason we are human is to experience what it means to be human, and all of its glory, and all of its badness, and all of its goodness, even if the badness part sucks, which... Small tangent, small little thing, I'm actually going to link it in the description. There is a song coming out. It's called I Relate. And this song, when it comes out, I have a feeling is going to break me. It's going to absolutely tear me wide open, and to the point where it has to end up on my Handmade Life album. Side story about that another time. And, the artist who sings that song, the storyteller, if you didn't know, I relate a lot to it, to the song, in ways that I don't want to. The reason my book exists, the reason that this podcast exists, is because I don't want anybody to go through what I've gone through. I don't want people to question their worth. I don't want people to lie awake at night crying themselves silently to sleep because they don't feel they are enough. I don't want people picking up the shambles of their broken life, of their broken heart, and piecing it back together on their own. I don't want children and women to think that their parents don't love them. I don't want people and men and everyone and just everything to feel what I've felt, experience what I've experienced. If you know my story, thank you for being alive, and thank you for being my friend. Thank you for existing, because this world is better with people being together. If you do not know my story, I'm not going to summarize it right here. I'm not going to talk about it because that's not what today's episode is about. There are other episodes that talk about it. My book that comes out this summer talks about it. I relate because I'm human and I've been through hell in ways that I don't want anyone to ever experience. The fact that I have to talk about this stuff, the fact that I have to have conversations around SA and other shit pisses me off. But at the same time, I feel like I absolutely have to, because if I don't, then more people will keep going through what I've gone through. I am hoping that by telling this story, by telling other people's stories, by having guests, by writing this book and having this book and all of this shit, that no more people can relate to this. I hope that one day, by reading this book and hearing this story, hearing the stories of other men, women, children, and people, that choices we make, because there's always a choice, are rooted in love and in light and in positivity. And I know that's not always the reality because of yin and yang, of duality, polarity, the human condition. But it can be more of a reality than it has been. On that I am sure. On that I am positive. So yes, I relate, and that song is gonna break me. I wish we didn't have to tell the stories that we have to tell. I wish we didn't have to have things the way that we had. I wish you didn't relate. I wish the world could be a bit different. And I think it can be. In the links, in the comments or whatever, I will have the pre-save up for I Relate by the Storyteller. I will have my Discord community linked. You can join the Digital Quill family today. I will have guest episode 1 with Scott Shirley from Second Chance Charade up. Go give him a listen. I will have my Would You Rather episode, which was 22, up in the links as well. So yes. Time is such an important and essential thing, and yet at the same time it isn't. We put more meaning on it than we should sometimes. Before we end today, before I wrap everything up, because I've kind of gone over my time limit for myself, let's do some breathing. Let's center our nervous system a little bit. So do it with me, all right? I want you to breathe in. Hold to the count of 4, and then let go to the count of 4. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. If 4 is a little hard for you, start with 2. And then move on to 4 with each breath you take. Or each cycle you take. So breathe in. Hold. Let go. Breathe in. Hold. Let go. Okay. Now that you have breathed, sure. Yep, that is the 28th time I have said a completely different word that might not even exist. That's fine. I coined the new term glay today. If you were there for that on the TikTok, feel free to comment what it means. I'm watching. Remember to breathe. I find myself holding my breath more than I breathe. So breathing, especially getting those deep lung breaths in, help you with a lot of different things. We really will have to go over on an episode some breath work and stuff, and like the history of different types of breathing and like the things that breathing can apparently do for you, which I don't discredit, because human bodies are strange. Very strange things. We are very strange creatures. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for letting me give you my time. Thank you for sharing your time with me. It means a lot to me that you are listening to these episodes and experiencing your perspective of life. And I know that doesn't sound like much, maybe. I know that sounds like a line or something crazy, but truly, being human is weird. Living life is strange. Like, life is strange. Like, there is such a world of possibility and humanity and experience out there, and it's so nice. It's nice to be alive and experience that with people. There was a long time when I wasn't. Thank you for being here to recap 22 episodes of the Digital Quill Podcast. I'm your host, Mars Wilson, and as always, humans of Earth, please keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. I'll see you next time. Bye.